on Monday, October 20th. First thing we need to do is elect a planning and zoning chairman, vice chair, a commission vice chair, because that's required by the ordinances. Obviously, I'm not in the running for that, so I will accept a nomination for a vice chair from anyone. Anybody want to do a little extra work? In absence, I'll nominate Mitch. Is there a second?
Second.
That worked out well.
Yeah. All opposed, anyone opposed? Hearing no opposed? Yeah. So congratulations, Mitch. You get to do it when I'm not around.
Hold on, down here. 1 sec, I'm sorry.
Okay, next order of business is public input. Citizens may make comments to the Planning and Zoning Commission. We ask citizens who wish to speak on agenda items to sign in on the sheet provided at the table at the back of the room. There is a 3-minute limit on each speaker. Pursuant to state open meeting laws, the Planning and Zoning Commission cannot discuss or take action on items not posted on the agenda. Is there anyone who wishes to speak and make a public input? All right, I do. Just remind everybody that, it's now early voting for the election, and everybody should go and vote. I've lost my little sticker because I voted today. There are 17 constitutional amendments on the ballot. That's the big thing. There's one like school district, but mostly it's changes to the state constitution. I won't tell you how to vote on any of them, but they are somewhat complicated, so I suggest you read up on them before you go, and so you don't have to sit there for an hour kind of trying to figure out what these things mean. The most important one, in my opinion, is Proposition 4, because it takes $1 billion from existing sales tax revenues for 20 years and puts it into the Texas Water Fund to develop additional water for Texas. Many of you know that this area is scheduled, this North Texas area is projected to grow by a factor of 5 in the next 25 years. 5 times as many people here. And I guarantee you, we do not have enough water for them, so every extra little bit of money that goes into the Texas Water Fund will be helpful to this area. So I vote yes for it, but I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but I think it's a good thing. Is there any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to the development update from our town administrator.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just a couple of quick updates on the recent development. We have Copper Knolls, it's been going on for a while. They're doing their final grading, so they're cleaning up the site. They got the pads squared away. They're putting in some erosion control and some signage, so all that's kind of going up. They got some fencing to put up. So probably, in the next 30, 45 days, they should be getting that pretty much completed, is what I've been told. So we'll see how that goes. Ani Ranch, they're doing all the rough end of the roads and the drainage and putting up retaining walls on the backside of the property as well. So that project's well underway. Copper Creek Phase 3, if you guys recall, they had to pipe some subsurface draining through Copper Canyon. So that's also started on Copper Canyon Road as well as on Cameron Trail. They were cutting out concrete, and so now their next phase is to lay the pipe as well. For the residents that butt up against that project, they're going to rip out their section in front of their driveway. Probably the last thing they do, they'll do it in sections, and then they'll put plates over, so they'll always have access with the exception of maybe a few hours or so. Then they'll put the plates back, and then when the concrete dries, they'll pull the plates up. So we have worked with the contractor to make sure that happens, so we keep an eye on them pretty much daily. But that is the most recent development that's going on in Copper Canyon.
All right.
Yeah, I noticed that Ani seems to really be focused on trying to save as many trees as possible, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, so sorry, I neglected to introduce some new faces here. Why don't you introduce yourself, our new alternate?
Yeah, Vic Miles.
Vic volunteered, or his arm was twisted to be an alternate, and so he stepped up tonight. I think you've known the rest of us,
Yep.
and we've got a new face over there.
Schaefer Harris, TNP Town Engineer.
Sir, welcome. Thank you both for being here. I was just going to ask on the development update. I know they're doing a lot of work on that retention pond or whatever it's supposed to be there on the corner. Have you guys looked at that? Have you got any, is it, I know maybe too early to look, but they've got
Wish to know.
Copper Knolls, is that what you mean?
copper
Couple
knolls.
knolls.
Yeah, that's a detention pond in the front.
Yeah,
And they're finalizing up the retaining wall for that, and we're making sure they keep the erosion.
had a little bobcat in there,
Yep.
making a little deeper today.
Yeah.
I guess. So I thought
Yeah,
you
they were cleaning out some of the silt that's fallen in there over the past couple months, so
Yeah.
we're making sure they clean all that up and build it as designed.
All right, great. All right, the next agenda item is our consent agenda, which would be approving the April 21, 2025 minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do I hear a motion to, does anybody want to remove any item from the consent agenda? No, in that case, do I hear a motion to approve the consent?
I'll
agenda?
make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
Thank you, second.
I'll second.
Second, Brian. All in favor? Aye. Approved. All right, I think as most of you know, I do things a little backwards. I like to have a discussion before the public input, and then we have action after that. That way, we take into account the public input in making our decision, and it also helps have some discussion before the public input so that there's a little bit more back and forth, a little more open transparency. So, we've got two items on the agenda tonight, and we have some people here representing them. So let's go through the first one. The first discussion item, okay, is to discuss the replat of the Great Commission Center lots 6R-1A and 7R-1 and 7R-2, Block A being a replat of lots 6R-1 and 7R, Block A of the Great Commission Center, in addition to the town of Copper Canyon. Text is recorded in document cabinet 5, page 435, and document number 2024-429 of the plat records of Denton County, Texas, in the Cooksey, try saying that fast, survey abstract number 270, and the William Benjamin Hawes survey abstract number 557, town of Copper Canyon, Denton County, Texas. So, I guess I have the first question on this.
Commissioner, real quick, could you make sure you speak into the mic so people can hear you and hear you at home as
You're
well?
kidding.
I just want to make sure you're heard.
Nobody's ever said they couldn't hear me. I'm pretty loud. Can everyone hear me now? Okay. So I guess the first question is, we have two things on the agenda tonight. And I'd like for a little education for everybody that's here. This is listed as a replat. And not having seen it before, I'm wondering what's being replatted. So why is this, what is it about this that brings it before us tonight, I guess is the question. What about this particular replat, makes it something that we need to rule on here? So I guess I would ask first, maybe, I guess Dale, you want to talk to us a little bit about what's going on here? You don't have to, but make it a little easier for us to understand what's going on.
All I'm doing is taking some lots that I have and breaking it into 2-acre lot from a 4-acre lot. Per the county, per the city code and ordinance, that's what I must do. And so that's why we have all this drawn up and replatted, and it comes before you tonight, I guess for you to bless it and look at it and say it's okay or not okay. But as far as I know, that's the reason I'm here, is just to answer your question like this, you know. But the idea was, when I bought this property, the city has certain codes. You have to have so much lineal footage for the front, 250 feet, and all this thing. So all these lots is, I'm just massaging one 4-acre lot to 2 2-acre lots. That's all I'm doing. And the one lot is 3-point-something acre there, and that's going to be a separate item, but that's it.
All right, thanks. That's what I thought.
Any other questions? I'll be glad to try to.
Well, that was kind of my question. This seems like something that's pretty non-controversial.
I'm not changing,
My
excuse me,
wife
I'm not
would say-
changing any ordinances. There's nothing changed. It's just from 4 to 2.
Right.
That's it.
So it's controversial. My wife tells me it's not controversial, it's controversial. So it seems to me there's like nothing controversial about this. It's pretty straightforward. No new utilities, no new connections to the streets. Seems pretty small. And again, I think everybody here is aware that we have not passed the newly written for months and months and months now subdivision ordinance. And I think under that new subdivision ordinance, this would not be here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Right? This would be a staff decision because there's a minor. It's.
Yeah, there's no public improvements, no easement changes, none of those type things. You're just
Nobody's
moving-
ox is getting gored.
You're moving
This
some
is
lots
just
around.
the homeowner doing their own thing. So, again, I think this, just for education purposes, this is not something that, normally, going forward in the future, assuming the council ever does approve the new subdivision ordinance, you won't hear from anybody. So I think, if we can, let's move on to the next discussion. Remember, we're gonna come back to public hearings, so hold your horses. The next discussion item is to discuss replats lots 1R-2-1R and 1R-2-2R Block A of the Haberson Edition, being a replat of lots 1R-2-1 and 1R-2-2 Block A of the Haberson Edition, being 7.626 acres of the J. Lockhart Survey A-758 and the J.R. Teague Survey A-1258, Town of Copper Canyon, Denton County, Texas. So again, would the presenters like to make a comment, just kind of tell us what's going on here?
My name's Jack Patterson. I own both lots. Basically, all we're doing is we're moving one property from one side of the drive to the other side of the drive. That's it. One property right now is 4 acres and our house is on 3.5. The house will now be on 4 acres and the property will be on 3.5. That's it. We're not doing anything else. And what we're doing for a couple of reasons. Number one is because we want to maintain that driveway. We didn't want to use a shared driveway. And the other one was, I didn't want to have a developer buy it. It was 4 acres, and I didn't want to have a developer buy it and put in 2 houses. Now it's going out at 3.5, so that can't happen.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you. So, once again, this seems like nobody's getting harmed here. This seems like a relatively straightforward matter that, in my opinion, could be handled by staff going forward, hoping someday that we pass new ordinances. So, again, to me, these are not the type of things that really need to rise to the occasion. So keep your fingers crossed that ordinance gets passed someday in the future. All right, does anybody else want to make any comments before we go to the public comment about this? Okay, we'll move to the public hearing. The Planning and Zoning Commission for the Town of Copper Canyon, Texas will conduct a public hearing to hear public comments regarding 1, replat of the Great Commission Center lots 6R-1A, 7R-1, and 7R-2, Block A, being a replat of lots 6R-1 and 7R Block A of the Great Commission Center in addition to the Town of Copper Canyon, Texas, recorded in Document Cabinet 5, page 435, and document number 2024-429 of the Plat Records of Denton County, Texas, in the Clearacy-Cooksey Survey, abstract number 720, and the William Benjamin Hawes Survey, abstract number 557, Town of Copper Canyon, Denton County, Texas. The purpose of the replat is to adjust lot lines and reconfigure lots located south and southwest of 3730 Landseer in the Town of Copper Canyon, Texas. Would anyone like to make public comments on this particular item? Hearing none, I'll move on to a public hearing for the second item. Replat lots 1R-2-1R and 1R-2-2R Block A of Haberson Edition, being a replat of lots 1R-2-1 and 1R-2-2 Block A of the Haberson Edition, being 7.626 acres in the J. Lockhart Survey A-758 and the J.R. Teague Survey A-1258, Town of Copper Canyon, Texas. The purpose of the replat is to adjust lot lines for 772 Orchid Hill Lane and 776 Orchid Hill Lane in the Town of Copper Canyon, Texas. Is there anyone that wishes to make public comment on this second item? Hearing none, I close the public hearing at 6:15 p.m. Now we move on to the actual discussion. So I'm not gonna read that thing again. Let's learn it twice. Okay, so let's discuss and consider the first item. Does anyone have any discussion item they wish to bring forward at
No
this time?
concerns with that.
In that case, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
I'll second.
Great, thank you.
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Oh, that's right, Brian is gonna recuse himself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna recuse himself, so we have
I'll
four.
make a motion to approve.
Thank you, and, made a
second.
second. So, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So that's 4 ayes and 1 recusal. That being the case, we'll move on to the second item. Again, I don't need to read that again, it's fixed here. Now, is anyone else gonna recuse, you're gonna recuse yourself?
I'm gonna recuse myself.
Dane's gonna recuse himself on that one, so, I would consider a motion to approve this application.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it.
Thank you. Second from Brian. Any further discussion?
No.
Let's go to a vote. Anybody opposed to the motion? Hearing none, it's approved. Thank you all. A discussion of future agenda items. Do any of you have any items that you'd like to bring up for future agenda items?
No, I think we'll have some things here after the workshop, but we don't need to put those on now because we don't know what they'll be yet, right?
All right. Executive session, I see no need for an executive session, so we don't need to do that. That concludes our business, and as chairman, I adjourn this meeting. Oh, sorry.
No, I was, can you tell me why, when you recuse yourself was so that you would have a odd number for the vote?
Well, I'm Jack's neighbor.
Yeah,
on the
it's
property.
proximity for the two properties.
Yeah.
Dale's neighbor.
Yeah, he's Dale's neighbor.
You could have had even though you could have things where you,
Oh, yeah, could have been.
Yeah,
okay, you still have an odd number.
then we arm wrestle, he's on my side.
Yeah, so, yeah, and people can serve on a quorum, they'd be here to be in present, but if they recuse themselves from a vote, we still have 4 people voting for it, so it would pass. Even if 3 people voted for it, it would pass. So this is by majority. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Won't make a record for our fastest meeting, but we're getting there.
Close.
Thank you all for coming.